Retraining the subconscious mind requires an individual to replace memories of trauma and fear in their subconscious with images and thoughts of joy, prosperity, and abundance. So as I'm going through this journey of retraining my subconscious mind, I am basically looking to the happy moments and memories that I have from my past. There are times when I can just kind of, reminisce on a time where things were happy, or I just felt really good, for whatever reason. And I have basically been trying to train my mind to use those past memories as a focal point to retrain my subconscious to start to give me, more consistent thoughts of positivity and prosperity, essentially. I explained in my previous videos that my mind is kind of stuck in a loop of negativity, and kind of like replaying, past negative experiences. And I have a habit of basically listing out all of the possible ways something could go wrong instead of listing out all the possible ways that something could go right. So I'm in the middle of retraining my subconscious mind in order to be more fortified and useful for me, especially when it comes to changing mine and my family's life. So a lot of my escapism, if you will, and I'm kind of starting to see it as not really escapism anymore, even though technically it was, but essentially it was me, growing up in the situation and the environment that I was in. I typically always looked at fantasy or things that would kind of break me out of what I was going through, essentially. So I really attached myself to Harry Potter when I was a kid, and Harry Potter actually got me into reading, got me excited about reading. So, I'm a big lifelong fan of Harry Potter. I read all the books actually except for Goblet of Fire. I still need to go back and read Goblet of Fire. I didn't actually finish that book before the movie came out, unfortunately, and I just didn't want to wait. And I went ahead and watched the movie. But I still have not read Goblet of Fire, but I've read all the other ones. But I do plan on finishing it, and as well as rereading it. Hopefully my kids will be into it as well. Now, despite all the, the quote unquote fire that J.K. Rowling is under, I really appreciate and have always admired J.K. Rowling, because she just created this, as like one of the taglines say, Harry's wondrous world. This very fantastical world where just all these awesome, things were possible. Very, very fond memories from both reading the books, being able to imagine myself and put myself into the world of Harry Potter, being a student at Hogwarts. And, for those who may be gamers, being able to play Hogwarts Legacy, another game which I don't unfortunately have a whole lot of time, but hopefully it's going to change here very soon, or that will change here very soon. I'll have more free time to kind of, indulge in these things again. But being able to live out that fantasy through the Hogwarts Legacy video game. I met a really good friend of mine from back in high school, which unfortunately we haven't talked in quite some time now, in some years. No bad blood or anything, but just more or less just life just went on, kind of living life. We have our own families and things like that, but it got me very close to a friend of mine back in high school, because that was the number one thing that we had in common, and that was we were both very, very big fans of Harry Potter. We even previously we knew it, but we both gifted each other, and again, Goblet of Fire, but the Goblet of Fire soundtrack from the movie. We basically planned on getting it for each other. We knew what it was. We wrapped it, gave it to each other. It was very, very cool. Went to the midnight releases for a lot of the other books, starting at Order of the Phoenix, which was number 5, Half-Blood Prince was 6, and Deathly Hallows. Went to those midnight releases for all of those. Just really, really, really awesome memories. And when I think about those memories, I get this very almost like warm sensation over my body that pretty much says, your home, or this is where you want to be. And learning that, our subconscious mind reacts and pretty much solely revolves off of our emotions. I'm basically trying to use those emotions that I feel when I think about those times into pretty much using that to curate how my mind works now. So there's even apparently practices of thinking of past traumas and actually rewriting the story in your mind as so to basically trick your subconscious into pretty much, kind of being like, hey, this situation wasn't, what it was. It wasn't this bad thing that happened. This is what actually happened. You can kind of go in there and restructure that memory so that it, kind of no longer is a weight on you, essentially. Now, I don't know how I feel about that 100% because, I don't necessarily want to forget per se, because when things happen to us that are traumatic, they do happen. I just necessarily don't want it to have so much of a hold on my life as it has, for some time now. But, I mentioned Harry Potter a lot, and I don't know if I'll even mention Harry Potter in the title of this video or not, but hopefully there's some other Harry Potter fans out there as well, whether you're fans of the books and the movies, or the books or the movies, which I'm a fan of both. I'm excited about the new show that's going to be coming up. I believe it's December of this year, so unfortunately I'll have to subscribe to HBO Max in order to see it. But I have the ability to kind of look at stories as in, okay, there's a new Harry Potter series, but it does not erase the original Harry Potter films, and it also does not erase J.K. Rowling's books, right? It has the same kind of whimsical feeling for me. Those memories for me will never change, whether I like the new series or not. But the world that she created is just really awesome. Even down to the soundtrack, right? So I like to listen to the Harry Potter soundtracks. I've always been a big fan of film score. So John Williams, doing the score for the first few initial films. And I know it went on to other composers after that. But essentially some of the, like the main theme from Harry Potter, when I hear that theme, it can evoke memories and emotions for me, right? When I hear Harry's Wondrous World, which if you heard it, you probably recognize it. When I hear that as well, I'm like, man, like this is just so, it just brings back so many memories. It's just crazy how deep music can get when it comes to stuff like that, or how it can invoke, emotions from you. And I know I'm talking a lot about Harry Potter, but the same thing happens whenever I listen to music from Hans Zimmer. One of my favorite pieces from him is Time from Interstellar. I have listened to that I don't know how many times, but depending on your perspective when you're listening to it, it can sound very sad. It can also on the opposite end sound very triumphant. It just depends on what you're thinking about. So I have been listening, and have always listened to, film score, and I really want to start doing more of that again. To just really help my mind and my imagination really begin to sculpt out and flesh out this reality that I ultimately have always believed I deserved, but for whatever reason just felt like was out of reach, or that I wasn't worthy of it. So I have to do a lot of restructuring and reconfiguring in my mind when it comes to that. So the subconscious mind is a very powerful thing, and especially when you're not aware of how it works. I remember my mom kind of hinting at it when me and my siblings were kids, and it kind of scared me a little bit. And she didn't say it in a scary way, but just the thought of it and how I interpret it kind of scared me a bit. But her whole thing was she did not like for us to fall asleep with the television on. And she basically, in a nutshell, she pretty much said even though you're sleeping, your mind is still awake. And if something's on the TV, your mind can take that in. And then before you know it, you could possibly be doing things or having thoughts that you have no idea where they come from. So, as a kid, I'm kind of, that kind of freaked me out a little bit. Like, man, I don't want to be out of my mind or not in control of what my mind is thinking or doing. But she was essentially, that's what she was talking about. The subconscious mind can almost be treated as its own entity in a way, or your subconscious mind is kind of like your true self. And if you don't take care of it, if you're not careful what it's exposed to, it can essentially feel like it runs you. And it basically just gives you that illusion. And this is what the powers that be want us to believe. It gives you the illusion of being out of control, that you have no control over your life or your circumstances. You double down with, again, like environmental aspects, to where you have people, places, and things just reaffirming how out of control and how, under someone else's thumb, or how oppressed you are. And that is just a reality that's just full of misery and destruction, essentially. So it's all very interesting. And I'm just trying to, just make sure that I stay motivated, stay excited about what it is that I'm looking into, because the idea of finally being able to be in control, so to speak, or just basically coming to the realization that I've always been in control, is a very exciting, and it can be a scary thing too. And I mentioned it, in previous videos too, again, that fear has been a very big component. I underestimated how deep and how strong fear can be when it comes to the decisions that you make. And again, my mind, without me even realizing it, was curating a system that would essentially cause me, or should I say maybe it would cause certain situations, or maybe even people, to not be present in my life, because I basically created in my mind a barrier to keep myself safe. And even though, like, I want success and I want these really cool things to happen for me, unknowingly I created a system that would push them away from me. So as much as I would want this thing, I did not realize that in my mind, if I'm constantly just repeating these, these traumatic situations, or these negative thoughts, or these insecure, these thoughts about me not being good enough, not being ready, or, whatever it may be, if I repeat that repeatedly, my mind remembers that and knows that, and that's exactly what it's going to give me. And I'm unaware, essentially, of how that works. I don't really fully grasp or understand that is essentially what is working against me. And that's where you hear certain things about, you being your own worst enemy, getting out of your own way. Those things mean so much more than we could ever possibly imagine until someone explains those things to us. So it's really deep. It's really incredible how it all works. And I'm going to continue to delve deeper and just be honest and, just really unpack some things so that I can do the same for my loved ones as well. So I hope this resonated with you, and any Harry Potter fans out there, you especially. We can get in the comments and kind of talk about, what Harry Potter means to us, or, just certain things that it might have just kind of influenced or helped in our lives. But yeah, so I look forward to hearing from you guys. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and share. And I look forward to talking to you guys more soon. Talk to you later.